1, 2, 3. Harold and Brad, Windy City Filmmakers. Harold and Brad, Windy City Filmmakers. Harold and Brad. Da, 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 da. Three, 2, 1. What's going on, y'all? Brad Stevens here for another edition of the Harold and Brad Windy City Filmmakers podcast. HD, what's going on, man?
What's up? What's up, B? Glad to be here again. Let's do this, man.
Yes, we have a very special guest, my good friend, actor, writer, director, producer, Ron Hanks in the house. What's going on, man?
Hey, Brad. Hey, Harold. Thank you so much for having me.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Hey, I'm not worthy to be here.
Of course you are. So
I've been listening to some of the other podcasts. I see what else you've been. The other people they actually work. The other people you have on the show, they actually.
Oh man. Yeah.
I've got news for you. I'm unemployed, so yeah.
Hey, a lot of us are now, man.
Hey, we're right there with you.
I know, right? Hey, so the first question we always ask people is a two-parter. What's your connection to Chicago, and what kind of art do you create?
My connection to Chicago is that I went to graduate school at DePaul University. I got my MFA in acting there a while back in Chicago, and so spent 3 years there getting that. And I loved it. I love being in Chicago, and I miss it all the time. And so I can tell you a little bit of my background as well, where I'm from. I started in Little Rock, Arkansas, is where I'm born and raised. I went to college, an undergraduate there in Arkansas as well. I got from Lyon College, and I got a degree in English and theater there. Did a little bit of work in theater in between for about a year, and then went to DePaul. And so for my interest where I am now, as far as what I'm doing now, it's all about film and television right now. Theater itself, especially now, has been really hard to come by.
Right.
And especially in Los Angeles. I live in Los Angeles now. After Chicago, I moved off to New York and now in LA. But now, it's all about film and TV for me. And it has been for at least about 10 years now, something like that.
There are a lot of movers and shakers that come from Little Rock, Arkansas. One of my buddies, he came up, and I was selling cars at Solozzi Edelson here in Elmhurst. And he came in and he became the top salesman real quick. He became a buddy, man. So congrats on Little Rock.
We're talkers down there. We're going to talk our way out of a lot of crap.
Yeah. So talk about some of the shows that you've done coming out of DePaul or in DePaul as an actor.
So for us in DePaul, and this is actually a good segue into what happened with New York. I mean, for some reason, DePaul has a really good children's theater program. And always is reaching out and to the community and doing children's theater. And Brad as well was in this case too. He did a lot of these children's theater shows as well. Yeah. And I was involved with that, and you use a lot of improvisation, you use a lot of movement, you're rolling around on the floor, creating characters. And sometimes it got a bad rap to be in the children's shows, but I loved it. I really did. I loved it. I loved entertaining. So you have to be honest. The kids will call you out on your stuff immediately if you're not honest. And that's one of the reasons that I think I actually landed my first role in New York was because of all the children's theater work in Chicago. I had done an audition for a company called Theater Works in New York, and they do national tours of shows and their equity. And the first audition I go in, they ask me to roll around on the ground. What a troll. They wanted me to be a troll, right? So I'm rolling around doing flips. No big deal. I didn't hesitate. I didn't have any problems. I was down on the ground flipping around like an idiot. And they were just doing that slow clap. Like, who is this guy? This was my first audition in New York. And I booked it. I booked a national tour for The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I did it for about 6 months. And it was great. I got my equity card that way. But I owe that stuff through the work I was doing in children's theater in DePaul. it really grounded me. It really taught me how important it was to play it as real as possible, even if it was for an audience of kids, even more real for the audience of kids. And so that was sort of like the foundation, especially with improv as well. I love improvisation, and I wish I could do it even more now. I just don't have time. There's just no time.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that's great. I have a story. I was in Louisville, and I was at this conference for business owners or something, and I was representing this company. And the guy, one of the guys that was hosting the event, he had all of these professionals do this children's play, whereas someone had to play the frog and someone had to play this, the elephant. And I sat back, with me being an actor, I was like, I'm just going to let whoever wants to be it. No one raised their hands, and I was like, well, I'll be the frog. And so I was leaping around, goofy like. It got me cast in a Raised in the Sun at Actors Theater. Yeah. It's crazy.
Along those lines, like, going through the theater school, I guess a lot of acting programs, we did a lot of rolling around on the floor with different classes and stuff like that. So what is the importance to you? How important is training of any kind in terms of being an actor? How important has the training been to you in terms of actually working the real world, so to speak?
Well, first of all, going back to the floor stuff, I know for a fact I've been in classes with you, Brad, and I've looked over at you. You looked over at me, and I'm going to cuss here, but you say, what in the hell are we doing? What are we doing? We're full-grown men rolling around like idiots, right?
Right.
But it's because of that very permission that a program like that gave us to say, you've got to get down there and be stupid. You've got to go find out who you are. You've got to explore all the limits that your physicality can bring to a role for us to even be the artists that we are today. And we had to remove this inhibition that we've been taught our whole lives of sit in this chair and hold your pen this way, hold your paper this way, and don't get out of line, right? They will keep everybody in line. And so you got to break through all those boundaries. And that's what I didn't anticipate that. I thought we were going to study theater. I thought we were going to watch movies. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought we were going to, I don't know. And then the very first day, they're like, all right, no talking, get on the ground and you're gonna breathe and learn about your throat.
Right.
You had to get over
how much money for this?
You had to get over that notion of don't be the class clown in school growing up. I remember that. Looking at the class clown as the idiot, we became the idiots. But it's okay. It's okay.
No, we build structures, right? We build so much structure around ourselves to keep ourselves safe. And training and programs like something like the theater school at DePaul, that's the first thing they attack. It's like, what walls do you have up that are keeping you, safe? Because that's limiting your creativity. That is holding you back, all these things you have up, these facades, everything from even the way we talk. Sometimes we have a certain way we talk. That's a facade, depending on who we're with. It blew my mind. I'll never forget. I'll never resent the money I spent on that program.
Oh, no doubt. Right. Yeah.
I joke about it. I'm like, oh, I have MFA. Look at me now. I say that stuff a lot, but I don't mean it. I'm proud of it, and I really respect so many of the people that went through the DePaul program, for example, just because we're talking about DePaul, but the people that dedicated themselves still. I mean, I have friends that are still hitting classes, still doing stuff as much as they can and exploring themselves as artists. I've decided to explore myself as a father because now I have a kid.
Good stuff. Congrats.
Congratulations.
I have a 1-year-old now, and now it's like taking a whole new realm to learn about life through his eyes.
So you did Golden, California.
Yes.
How did you come up with the concept for it?
All right. So Golden, California is not a serious program, right?
Okay,
it is
right.
an improvised travel show where we actually go to places like the Golden Gate Bridge.
Right.
And I try to limit people's inhibitions by we created this character that has this Southern accent. He talks like this, and he's very excited to be everywhere you want to be. We're at the Golden Gate Bridge, boys. Come on.
Right.
I know, Brad, you're so tall, you can stand up there and paint that thing green and red. But anyway, we created this character that was a fool, right?
Right.
So anybody that we actually talked to, any characters that we talked to, even if they were crazy themselves, some of them were, that they were normal. And so I love that juxtaposition. When you watch travel shows, the travel host is always like Anthony Bourdain.
Right.
They're always this expert that are going through a situation, right? And they bring this expertise of either food knowledge or history knowledge or art knowledge. I love Rick Steves. We love the characters based a lot on Huell Hauser, who was a big, he had a travel show in California for years called California's Gold. These are all like hero people to me for the travel shows, but we wanted to turn it on its head. And my friend Morgan Steele approached me with this idea, and I fell in love with it instantly because we were in the places. We were looking at these beautiful places and putting things on their head, and turning it around and exploring things in a different way. And it was so much fun. You got to watch the show. It's on Amazon Prime, all 3 seasons.
Good stuff.
A good plug, a good segue for that plug. 24 episodes are on there, and we actually really are in these places we go to.
Wow, you really donated some time to get 24 episodes. I mean, that's work. So you've been doing the thing, making stuff happen for yourself, moving and shaking, moving mountains.
Yeah. A lot's been happening with that, and I miss doing that show. Obviously, we can't do stuff like that. There's a pandemic. There's things like that where we can't do some of those shows. I can't wait to do more like that. I love interacting with people. I love it more than you guys know. It's great.
So how important is it along those lines? Because in terms of being an artist, how important is it to create your own content? How important has that been?
Yeah. Okay. So now you're getting into what I feel like is the crux of the matter for a lot of artists, right?
Right.
We're constantly told you have to create for yourself. And then we try to go out for other jobs and they say, wait, you don't have all these network roles, so you can't have this acting role. We can't trust you. You don't have the network gig. You don't have this big, Universal Studios picture. They want these certain things. And then as artists, we're told, well, go out and create your own art. You're going to build up to that. Right. So what do? I think at the end of the day, you have to create roles that speak to who you are.
No doubt.
That speak to your life experience. There is only one Brad Stevens. There is only one Harold Dennis. There's only one Ron. There's only us.
Right.
We only bring to it what we have. We all have these unique experiences. And the more we explore and we dive, I'm a white guy. Do you know how few people want to hear from me right now? Nobody wants to hear from me. I'm not complaining about it either. Oh my God.
Right.
And I'm straight with a kid. Jeez, how boring, right? But like we used to say, you don't know me. Like you don't know me.
You don't know nothing about me.
I have to keep trying. I have to keep putting my stories out there.
Right.
If you really, we talk about this a lot. Like once you start putting your stories out there, you're going to try to empower other people. You're going to try to empower people who don't have power. You're going to try to give them the power to express themselves. You're going to inspire other people to express themselves. And that's what we have to keep doing. We have to keep giving other people a platform.
Nice. Yeah.
I have to say that right now I am touched, moved, and inspired. I'm charged up right now.
Yeah, man.
Now I'm charged up. Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you a story. One of my very first ever experiences with any of this was in Little Rock Central High School. I went to a very racially charged high school. We were the embodiment of an integration crisis in 1957. And when I went to school in the 90s there was still this tension, this black and white tension. There was no longer a white school. It was a black school with a white minority.
Right.
And there was this resentment there. And along came this movie called The Ernest Green Story. Morris Chestnut starred in it. They said, we're going to shoot the story about the Little Rock Nine. We're going to recreate the integration crisis. We're going to bring in 100 people to play National Guardsmen. We're going to bring in all these extras, probably 200 people, these extras to play white rioters, basically. And we're going to bring one woman to bring in off the bus to walk her through in this big scene. As she walks into Central High School for the first time as a Black woman to integrate that school. And we're going to shoot this for real. And
right.
it was this amazing moment to bring as me as like a 10th or 11th grader to get to be in this movie of how I was transported in time in that moment when the director said action. It was a Disney movie. It was like a Disney made for TV film. The director said action, transported back in that time to history, to have history relive itself and to be there in that moment and to experience what it was like. It wasn't just something that was on television or on a magazine or looking at old photos. This was exactly where this history happened.
Right.
And now I was there in this movie recreating that for other people to experience it. And it was so powerful to me. And I was one of the white people that were in the riot, right? To try to stop, you know what I mean? I was playing on the wrong side of history there, but as a human being, it spoke to me so much because you empathize with the character. You empathize with her walking down with her shades, with tears coming down her eyes.
No doubt.
You empathize with her. And you realize like, oh my gosh, I wish everyone could be here in this moment to experience this, what I'm experiencing right now. And it hit me at an age where I was in 10th or 11th grade doing that, that changed my life forever. It made me want to be in film and TV and theater. It made me want to be proactive in what I do, not only with race, but with gender identity as well. And it just made me want to focus on empowerment issues big time.
Ooh la la. Yeah.